The government's ambition to supercharge renewables and critical minerals has been given the green light after the future Made in Australia plan passed through Parliament along with a raft of other bills. The legislation sets out the framework to deliver the government's $23 billion clean industry investment. The passage of the bill has been broadly welcomed by the mining sector, but the opposition has criticised it as billions for billionaires as a federal election looms. Clean Energy Council Chief Executive Kane Thornton joined me. Kane Thornton, welcome to Close of Business.
It's great to be with you.
Future Made in Australia has been welcomed by industry broadly. Is this money well spent?
Yeah, this is really great progress for Future Made in Australia. It is money well spent because there is an enormous opportunity for Australia to both develop a stronger supply chain for the clean energy opportunity here in Australia, but also to be a part of an extraordinary economic opportunity that's happening globally, and that is demand for clean energy, equipment, services, skills, capital, all of that. And a Future Made in Australia can really help to position Australia for that huge opportunity.
Green hydrogen is a central plank of the government's investment in green industry, but we've seen industry players like Origin and Fortescue either pull out of projects or scale them down. Is it a sure bet?
Well, green hydrogen is a big opportunity for Australia. It has a really important role that it can play both here within Australia and particularly helping to transition us away from traditional gas to green hydrogen, but also a big opportunity globally. It's not straightforward, it's complex, there's a lot of work to do, and there's a clear role for government to support the business case, to support these early projects through to commercialisation. Once they do that, they start to scale up, they start to come down in cost and be more commercial and play a bigger role in the economy.
Battery company Red Flow was tipped to be the future of Australian clean energy manufacturing, but it's now gone bust. Is this a cautionary tale as the government contemplates big support for the sector?
Well, what the Red Flow experience tells us is firstly that Australia does have some pretty extraordinary capability here in the country, drawing on our manufacturing history, leveraging our really smart R&D capability. It tells us it's hard, and it tells us that there's a role for government and a Future Made in Australia policies to lean in, not provide a handout, but a leg up to these companies who are trying to develop technology that can be a big part of the Australian energy system, but also feed into an international market that's growing and has enormous demand for these sorts of technologies. We shouldn't kid ourselves. It's hard work. Not all the companies will succeed, but we've got to be giving it a crack.
In Australia, as we head into 2025, we're looking down the barrel of an election at some point next year. There's a stark difference between the government and the opposition on energy policy. Peter Dutton's nuclear policy, he is releasing his costings next week. He says that it's going to be cheaper than the government's renewables policy. What do you think?
Well, I think we need to wait and see the detail. We've already had some modelling release which frankly lacked a lot of credibility. There were some pretty flaky assumptions built into that. The reality is here that renewable energy and energy storage are the lowest cost form of new generation. All of the research, all of the evidence right here, right around the world shows that nuclear power is many times more expensive than renewable energy. And so there is no scenario where slowing down renewable energy and shifting towards nuclear power delivers better outcomes for consumers. To the contrary, if the next suite of technologies that we're building, nuclear power, are much higher cost, then power bills clearly are going to be much higher for all consumers. And that's why we need to stay the course, focus on renewables and energy storage, because they're the lowest cost and will deliver the lowest power bill for all Australians.
Your organisation says that you're technology agnostic. Why wouldn't you embrace nuclear? It is zero emissions. Is it just a cost issue?
Yeah, we are technology agnostic, that's absolutely right. The companies that I work with over the last 4 years have invested $40 billion into renewable energy and energy storage projects here in Australia, and they've done that because these are the technologies that are the lowest cost. They're proven, they're available now, they're the lowest cost, and that's going to continue to be renewable energy and energy storage, we think, for many decades to come.
Well, Peter Dutton has vowed to cancel half of the government's planned offshore wind production. What does this do to investment certainty?
Well, it certainly scares and spooks investors because there has been a bipartisan commitment to offshore wind for quite a number of years. The coalition, when they were in government, introduced the first regulatory framework and legislation that's now been built on and really attracted vast amounts of interest from investors right around the world into Australia. And so this backflip, walking away from that, is certainly a concerning signal to investors that any bipartisanship is at risk, and investments that they're making now and expected to continue to now come with a lot of uncertainty.
Kane Thornton, thank you so much.
Great to be with you.